All right, why don't we go ahead and get started. So my name is Megan. Thank you for joining. If you have any yoga blocks or props that you would like to grab, pillows can sometimes be nice. You can go ahead and grab those. And we can begin in a comfortable seated position. You're also welcome to begin the class maybe laying down. So whatever feels good for you today. We're just going to check in with ourselves, see how we're feeling, maybe set an intention for the practice this evening and maybe for the rest of your night as well. So any comfortable seated position, allowing yourself to just relax, dial in to the breath, and allow yourself to become present. And we'll start by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And then a long, slow exhale out through the mouth. Keeping with this breath and allowing your body and mind to soften with each exhale. So if you're in a seated position, you can take this as an opportunity to feel your entire physical body. So doing a full body scan, noticing where there's any tension or holding, or even if you're maybe forcing something. In the seated position, the spine is lengthening up towards the ceiling, and we want space between the ears and the shoulders. So let your shoulders roll and melt down the back, and having a little bit of a lift in your sternum with the chin slightly tucked. Notice your toes, your ankles, your knees, hips, the upper body, the elbows, and the fingers. If you're feeling any tension there, like you're really gripping on, see if you can dial in there and just kind of relax. So maybe you spread all 10 toes, and then on an exhale, release, and same with your fingertips. We'll take 3 more breaths here. And once you've completed your 3rd breath, gently blink your eyes open. We'll start by warming up our spine. So let's take a nice big breath in, reach your hands up high towards the ceiling. Maybe you gaze up, and on the exhale, take a spinal twist over towards your right. So allowing your left hand to reach for the right knee. Keeping that same alignment with the spine, so lengthening up towards the ceiling, chin is slightly tucked. See if you can find a way to be easy in your shoulders, easy in your elbows. Let's stay for another breath, and on your exhale, see if you can twist maybe just a little bit deeper. Or maybe it's not twisting deeper, maybe you're just sitting up taller. So see if there's somewhere where you can just go a bit farther and maybe challenge yourself a bit more. Awesome. Next exhale, come back to center. Adjust yourself here, sitting up again nice and tall, and a big inhale, reaching your arms up high towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, take your twist. So your practice, you get to move as fast or slowly as you'd like. Stay here for another breath. See if you can maybe twist a bit deeper, sit up a bit taller. Work on hugging your belly button towards your spine and just feeling a nice rotation. Awesome. On your exhale, come back through center. Gently hug your shoulders up towards your ears. And on an exhale, roll them down the back. And just a couple more times like that. And then notice here, so maybe one side of your neck is feeling a bit tighter. You can take a right ear to right shoulder. Maybe dropping through center and then going left ear, left shoulder. And then dropping your chin towards your chest and allowing the back of your neck to really lengthen out. And then gently lifting the chin up. Place your hands on the knees and we'll just come into some seated cat-cow. So as you inhale, you're letting your sternum lift up. If it feels okay on your neck, gently lifting your chin a little bit up towards the ceiling. Sternum and collarbone is nice and wide. And on your exhale, start to round in your spine, tuck your chin, kind of straighten out your arms a little bit here. You can feel your shoulder blades pulling away from the spine as you round in your back and shoulders. And then using the breath, continue moving through that. So inhale to seated cow pose. And then an exhale to your cat. And a couple more times here. Allowing your yoga practice to sort of be like a dance. So moving with the breath, moving with ease, and just kind of becoming aware and seeing how things feel as you move through. And then we'll come back to neutral here with a tall spine and begin to go in some circles here with your upper body. Seeing how it feels from side to side, maybe staying in one spot. And then continuing to check out the other spots and spaces as you continue with some circles. And then finding your way back to a nice still position. We'll do some lateral stretches here. So start with your right hand gently on the ground. Take a big inhale, lots of length through the left side. And as you exhale, start reaching over towards your right. Reaching through the left fingertips, engaging your arm. Feeling a stretch through the left side body near the ribs and right near the hip as well. On your exhale, float your way back through center, however that looks like, and then we'll go to the other side. So let the inhale sweep your right arm up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, reach to your left. Exhaling your way back through center and to the other side. Inhale to reach up. And exhale, reach. So you get to decide how intense or restorative you want this pose. So if the stretch in the left arm is feeling a lot, maybe you bring a soft bend to your elbow. You've always got the option to drop your right forearm down to the mat to get a bit of a deeper stretch. Maybe you turn and just bring your gaze to the floor and close your eyes. Making your way over to the other side. And noticing if in this stretch, if we start holding some tension in your ankles or toes, so just kind of becoming aware of that. And maybe focusing just some attention there and releasing some of that forceful energy. And floating back through center. And let's shift our way into child's pose. So keeping with the nice steady breath, the ease that we're kind of creating. We want our forehead to come in contact with something on child's pose. So grab any props that you might need, either the pillow or a block. And if it feels okay on the hips and knees, bringing the big toes to touch, and then settling your hips down towards your heels. This can feel really nice on the low back here. So spread your fingertips nice and wide with your hands about shoulder width distance apart. See if you can press into the finger pads. Engage through the arms, bringing length into your spine. Taking a full deep breath in. And long exhale out. So staying in your child's pose, how about on the inhale, really engage through the finger pads, press down through them. Maybe lift your elbows up off the mat on a breath in. And then as you exhale, soften through your finger pads and let your elbows gently rest to the floor. See if you can feel the shoulders relax a bit more as well. And on your next exhale, in your turn, gently press your way up to your tabletop. So in your tabletop, the knees come a bit closer towards one another so that they're just about hips width distance apart. And let's just do some movement here with the spine and the hips, maybe taking some gentle circles. And we're pressing the mat away from us, keeping your fingertips spread nice and wide. The back of your neck is long and protective, so gazing right between your two hands. And then returning to center, building your strong tabletop foundation, but keeping a gentle bend through your elbows here and engaging your core. We'll come into a calf stretch, so lifting the right leg long behind you, flexing your right foot, got the toes pointing down towards the ground. Feel the low abs starting to engage. And on your next exhale, just gently drop the toes towards the back of the mat. We'll press into the hands, working the right heel down towards the ground so your left knee stays grounded down on the mat. And then we'll lift your right leg up and over the left foot and leg. You can either keep the gaze down at your hands or to get a side body stretch in, start looking over your left shoulder. And then returning your weight towards center, so to your tabletop. Making sure the fingertips are spread nice and wide. And we'll go to the other side. The left leg back behind you. Kick out through that back left heel. So as you flex your left foot, hopefully you can feel that your left leg really engaged. So the quadricep, the hamstring, and the calf muscle really turning on. And when you're ready, taking your left leg, bring it up and over your right leg. Gazing over your right shoulder for a bit of a stretch. And then returning to, we'll come into that calf stretch. So left leg nice and long, and then drop your toes to the mat. Press into your hands here and work your left heel down towards the ground for a bit of a stretch. Awesome, coming on back to your tabletop. Let's tuck our toes under and we'll come into downward facing dog. Depending on your height and flexibility, maybe scooching your hands a couple inches forward, keeping yourself bend through your knees and lifting your hips up. Keeping the hands about shoulder width distance apart. Continue pressing into your finger pads. We really want to keep our weight out of the wrists here. We do that by engaging through the arms. Sending your chest back towards your thighs. And to come a bit deeper into your downward facing dog, you can work your heels down towards the ground. And work on straightening through your legs. So if that is an option for you, you can go ahead and try that out if you'd like. And you can stay here in downward facing dog, or if you'd like to transition into three-legged dog, so maybe just lifting the right leg up and back. And in three-legged dog, we want to work on, continue the left heel working its way down towards the ground. Right heel is lifting up. Flex through that back right foot, another breath in. Exhale back to your downward facing dog, and you can go to the other side. So an inhale to sweep the left leg up and back. Keep a nice bend through your right knee. Right heel is working its way down towards the ground. Keep pressing your chest back towards your thighs. Another breath in. Awesome, big exhale, let it go downward facing dog. Bring your gaze towards your hands. Start walking your feet forward. We'll come into a forward fold, maybe a ragdoll pose at the top of the mat. So your feet are about hips width distance apart. Soft bend through your knees. Grab opposite elbows and let yourself fold forward. The feet should be parallel here. So pressing into all four corners of the feet. To deepen the stretch, you can start straightening through your knees as your hips lift up towards the ceiling. Another breath in. And an exhale, let it go. Bring your hands down towards the mat. We're going to work through some half sun salutations. You've got the option to leave your feet like this, or bring your feet together so you've got your big toes touching in a small space between the heels, about an inch. So that will be more of a challenge with balance if you want to try that. Let's take an inhale to a halfway lift. So the hands come towards the shins. If you have two blocks, this is a perfect spot for them. Your belly button is hugging towards your spine. Shoulders pull away from the ears. Nice breath in. Exhale, let it go. Keep a bend through your knees. And let the top of your head work its way towards the ground so you're really letting go through your neck. Two more times. Inhale, lift halfway. So push your heart forward. Breathe out and fold. And again, use the breath to inhale, halfway lift, back of the neck is nice and long. And exhale, fold. We'll rise all the way up, so a big inhale, press through your feet and rise. Let's sweep the arms up, so press through the feet, engage through the legs. Arms reach up overhead, bring palms to touch, maybe you gaze up. Now on the exhale, pull hands towards the center of your heart. Engage your core. And let your shoulders relax. So if you have a focal point in front of you that you can focus on, something that is still, that can really help kind of build stability through the practice. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, up overhead. And then exhale, soften through your knees and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, press through your feet, rise up. Arms come up overhead, palms to touch. As you exhale, pull your hands to heart center. We'll do that 2 more times. Let the inhale bring your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway, hug that belly button in. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Relax your shoulders one last time here. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms up overhead and then hands to heart center. We'll now add in and progress towards Sun Salutation A. So we'll shift into high plank, low plank, upward facing dog, or cobra, back into downward facing dog. All right, inhale, reach the arms up. Spread your fingertips as you really reach and take up space. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, hands down on your mat and step back to your high plank. Lots of options here, so either dropping the knees, really engage your core, pressing the earth away from us. On your next exhale, slowly start lowering all the way down. So we're moving through a low plank chaturanga. Flip onto the tops of your feet, squeeze your elbows in towards your ribs, and you can either inhale just like this. So again, the collarbone is nice and wide, or you can press up fully to an upward facing dog. So gliding the hips kind of through your arms. Pressing into the tops of your feet. Exhale back to downward facing dog. So roll over the toes and lift your hips up. Awesome. Taking a full breath in. And big exhale out. Let's do that 2 more times. So you have the option to either take a nice jump forward to your hands, or a nice step, or either walking to the top of your mat. And then from there, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, press to your feet and stand up. Arms up overhead, and we'll keep flowing right through Sun Salutation A. So exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale to your high plank. So stepping back. If the legs are lifted, work on lifting the backs of the knees up towards the ceiling. Activate the core, and on your exhale, slowly lower down. Flipping onto the tops of your feet, we kind of want to zipper up the midline. So inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Keep a soft bend through your elbows. And then exhaling back, downward facing dog. Taking a nice breath in. And big exhale out. So look at your hands. You can either jump forward, step, or walk to the top of your mat. Inhale to your halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, press to your feet, stand up. Big exhale. You can either fold forward or swan dive. So for a swan dive, the arms come out towards the side, and you fold and you let your chest sort of lead the way. Inhale, halfway. And exhale to your high plank. And maybe with that same exhale, you continue down to the mat through your low plank, squeezing your elbows in, and inhaling to cobra or upward facing dog. And let's exhale back to child's pose. So bring some distance between your knees here, big toes to touch, and sort of just settling here and allowing yourself to feel this moment of rest. So take your time here. We'll stay for 3 breaths. And after that last breath, we'll shift our way back into our downward facing dog. For downward facing dog, bring your right foot forward between your 2 hands. We'll come into a low lunge. So have your right toes facing directly forward with your knee over your ankle. And for some more balance, separate the feet a little bit. You can always drop your back knee, but you've got the back toes facing directly forward too. So we'll shift into a crescent lunge. I'm gonna go ahead and lift the upper body. To get steady, if you'd like, you can rest your hands maybe on the top of your right knee. Back leg is nice and strong, so my back heel is almost right over the ball of my foot. So that's kind of allowing me to really feel strong in my legs. If you want, we can go ahead and reach the arms up towards the ceiling. So the fingertips are spread wide, lifting up towards the ceiling, biceps by your ears. Hugging energy up and in, maybe starting to feel a stretch through your left quadricep and hip flexors. Take a nice breath in. As you exhale, let's shift and roll open to warrior two. So you'll anchor down in your back foot, and your back foot should be almost parallel with the back edge of your mat. And so if your feet had some distance between them, you want to scoot your front foot forward so that it is kind of intersecting right with the arc of your back foot. Your right toes are still facing forward. You want to watch your right knee if you find it caving in towards the midline. You really want to squeeze your right knee open towards the right edge of the mat. As you exhale, let your arms release and kind of give yourself a shake. And then bringing yourself back to your warrior two, the core is nice and strong and you've got your shoulders stacked right over your hips. So as you stay here, see if you can maybe drop in a bit deeper if that feels good. Let's take an inhale and we'll reverse our warrior. So flip your palm up towards the ceiling and reach your right arm up and back. And then on your exhale, float into your side angle. So let your right forearm or elbow gently rest on your right thigh, with your left arm reaching up towards the ceiling. So if that doesn't feel okay, you can always bend your left arm, put your hand on your hip. Another option would be a half bind, so bringing your left hand to your low back, and even if it can, maybe touching that right thigh. So that's really getting an opening through the left shoulder. Okay, why don't we come on back to warrior two, press into your front foot and straighten your front leg. That feels nice. From here, we'll shift into a triangle pose. So for triangle pose, we want to leave our legs and feet just as they are. We want to reach your right hand forward, 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 kind of hinging at this right hip, and then letting your right hand either come to the floor, a block, or your right shin. And then you've got your left arm reaching up towards the ceiling. So if that's not feeling okay, left hand can maybe come to the hip. So with triangle pose, we like thinking about lots of straight lines. So really grounded and strong through our legs. Arms and hands are reaching up. Okay. Let your top arm bring you up to stand. So we're going to shift into 5-pointed star. So bring your right foot so that it's parallel with the edge of your mat. So now you've got your feet parallel. And we'll come into a forward fold. So maybe hands are at your hips. And on your exhale, gently beginning to fold forward. So you can either drop your hands down towards the ground. You can reach your hands forward, like maybe a foot or two in front of you, and that can kind of give you a nice stretch and lengthening out through the spine. You can reach your hands underneath your legs to the space behind you. So in here, we're really grounding down through the pinky side of our feet. If you start feeling a pull in your legs, you can bring a gentle bend to your knees. All right, let's come into a halfway lift. So you've got your hands on the ground. We're going to come into a low lunge again. So start shifting your right toes forward, left toes forward. You've got a hand on either side of this right foot. And we'll come into a twist here, leaving your left hand down. Go ahead and reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. This is feeling like a lot on your legs. You can always drop your back knee. And then go ahead and lower down on that side. So now your right hand is down on the ground and switch. So a nice inhale to bring your left arm up towards the ceiling. And exhale, lower your left arm down. We'll come into a runner stretch. So bend your back knee, let it come to the floor. Yeah, straighten through your right leg, flex the right toes towards your face, shift your hips back. And begin to bend your right knee, bring your right foot to the floor. Bring your right hand down, shift back to a tabletop, and then in your time, tuck your toes and lift into your downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward between your two hands. We'll come into a low lunge. So again, left toes facing directly forward. Right toes are facing directly forward too. You've got the heel up off the ground, and you can always drop the back knee. So shifting into a crescent lunge, really grounding down through the feet. Let the core kind of bring you up. Option for your hands are either maybe on top of your left knee, on your hips, or reaching up towards the ceiling. Relaxing your shoulders and maybe finding that focal point. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, in your way, shift to your warrior two. So spinning that right foot down and adjusting your feet here so your left foot is kind of intersecting right at the arc of your back foot. Again, watching your front knee, having it stack right over your ankle, squeezing it towards the left edge. And on your exhale, release your arms and let them just roll from side to side. Finding your way back towards your warrior two. Energy is kind of hugging up and in. Got a nice, strong, straight back leg, really pressing into the outer edge of your right foot. And from here, we'll inhale, flip your palm and reverse into reverse warrior. And then as you exhale, float into your side angle. Resting your forearm on the top of your left knee. And then if you notice yourself kind of caving or rounding in the shoulders, see if you can kind of roll your right shoulder back a bit and feel an openness through your heart. And we're staying strong in our legs, strong in our core, because we don't want to be just dumping into this left shoulder. And then we'll press our way back up, warrior two, and straighten your front leg. We're going to shift into our triangle. So again, if triangle is feeling like too much, bring a soft bend to your knees. Start to reach your left hand forward, forward, forward. And when you can't reach anymore, hinge at your hip. Bring the left hand either towards the shin, or a block can feel really nice here as well. So a common phrase for this pose is imagining that you're between two panes of glass. So you've got your shoulders kind of rolling open, core is nice and active, legs are strong. And we're breathing. You're going to press into your feet and rise up. We'll shift into that five-pointed star again. So now turn your left foot towards the edge of the mat so your feet are parallel. And there's lots of options here. So one of my favorite is interlacing your hands at your low back. So press your palms together. Notice how the shoulders open. So this can be a really nice counter stretch for anyone who's at the computer a lot or driving. As you inhale, press through your feet and let your sternum and heart lift up. Maybe your gaze walks up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, slowly let your heart lead the way and start to fold forward. So now your palms are pressing together and your knuckles are dropping up overhead. So this can be an intense shoulder stretch. So if it feels like too much or painful, you can always bring your arms and hands to the floor as you fold forward. On your next exhale, lower your hands and arms down towards the mat if they were in that nice stretch. Inhale to a halfway lift. And we're going to shift to a low lunge with the left toes facing forward. And so adjust yourself here if needed, bringing some distance between the feet. Always got the option to drop your back knee here, and we'll come into those twists. So right hand down on the mat. Inhale, twist and reach your left arm up. And exhale, lower down. And move through to your other side. Inhale, reach up, reach through your right fingertips, spreading the fingertips wide. And exhale, lower down. Drop your right knee and shift back to your runner stretch. And start to bend through your left knee, bring your left foot to the floor. We'll press back into our tabletop, so bring your left foot back. And tuck your toes, lift up, last downward facing dog. And start to walk your feet up towards your hands, almost through your hands, and we'll lower down to a seated position. We'll come into some seated folding positions. Legs out nice and straight, flexing the feet towards your face. Spine is lifted up, seated forward fold, and inhale to reach your arms up. And then exhale, reach for the feet. So a deeper stretch for this, if you have a yoga block, putting the yoga block at the sole of your feet with your hands around it. So you're just getting a deeper stretch. Relax through your head and neck. And then find your way out of that. So gently lifting up. We'll just kind of do another version of that. So bring your hands just behind you a little bit. Press into them. As you inhale, kind of lift a little bit in the heart. And now this time, instead of flexing the feet, kind of just let them drop out towards the side. So this is more of a restorative stretch. So just gently folding forward so the legs really aren't engaged. And you're just kind of softening and letting the upper body start to fold a little bit towards the ground. Back of the neck is nice and long. Start to press your way back up. We'll come into a seated tree. So start to bend through your right leg, right sole of your foot to your left thigh. And inhale to reach up. And on the exhale, work on folding over your left knee, reaching for your left foot. Nice steady breath. Let yourself lift back up and switch your sides. And another option for tree pose is bringing your foot kind of into the hip crease. Using an inhale to lengthen out, and then on exhales going into the pose. So hands are either maybe on the foot, on the lower leg, or maybe they are on the mat or the floor. Using a yoga strap here can be really helpful if your hands are not reaching your foot. And gently lifting back up. Soles of the feet together for a seated butterfly. A good one for this is placing some pillows under the knees. If the hips are feeling tight, so inhale, sitting up nice and tall. And as you exhale, start to fold your chest down towards the ground. Lifting back up. We'll come into one last hip opening stretch. So our pigeon pose, you can take this laying down or actually staying upright like this. Hands are down on the ground. Bending the right knee, fold the right ankle over the left knee. Work on keeping the heart lifted. See if you can stay soft and fluid through your elbows for a deeper stretch, pressing through the hands, lifting the sternum up. I like to flex my right foot to really activate my leg and feel that stretch through my right glute. And if you want, squeezing your left heel a bit closer towards the body to get more of a stretch in there. And then finding your way out of this pose, and we'll go to the other side. So right foot comes to the floor, bending that left ankle and bringing it right to the right knee. Letting your heart stay nice and lifted. If you've got a focal gaze, or maybe you close your eyes on this one. Yeah, a nice one here is kind of just dropping the chin towards the chest, and you get a nice lengthening through the back of your neck. And bring your left foot to the floor, and we'll just let the legs drop from side to side. And from here, roll on down, and we'll come into our final resting pose. Let things lengthen out here, lengthening out through the legs. You can take a full body stretch maybe before coming into the final resting pose. And in our final resting pose, we want to work on finding stillness here. So limiting distractions can help that. And so maybe you set the intention for the next, 30 or 60 seconds to really just focus on your breath and softening through your body and extremities. And take a nice, full, long, deep breath in through your nose. Longer exhale out through your mouth. And then bringing yourself up to a seated position. Keeping with that softness, bringing that length into your spine. Nice inhale, reaching your arms up overhead. Oh, bring your palms together. Exhale, hands to the center of your heart. May you invite in peace, love, and joy. Thank you for practicing. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you next Monday.